And here's a look at the notable players selected to the U.S. men's basketball team for the Olympic Games in Tokyo. The team is seeking a fourth consecutive gold medal and will be led by Spurs head coach Greg Popovich. One player you can see absent from this list is the King. Here's Jerry Colangelo on the potentially not seeing LeBron in the Olympics ever again.
You know, Father Time takes its toll. And you guys know that because if you're a human being, your body is built to go so long, depending on what your sport is, and then it's a downhill situation. And LeBron made choices these last couple of Olympics not to participate because he's got a lot of things going on in his life, and so he put in his time. He made a contribution that is appreciated, but I think his time is over.
A lot of things going on might be just a bit of an understatement. Freddie, is it smart to rule out LeBron just yet?
No, it's not smart at all because LeBron James has done so much for USA Basketball. He's been a great, not just player, but a great ambassador and at times a coach and leader when it comes to USA Basketball. So I could see LeBron James playing for Team USA again as a cap on his career. 4 years from now, I could see him doing that. He won't play as much, of course. He's not going to be out there playing 25, 30 minutes. But I could see him being a part of that team in that kind of advisory role, being a coach on the floor kind of role with younger players who still look up to him. So Jerry Colangelo is not wrong by saying Father Time is undefeated. There's no doubt about that. But LeBron James, he loves his life in the sunshine, and the sunshine's been very, very good to him. So no matter what, that he may be, not maybe, he's at the end of his career, but still has a lot of juice in those legs left. I don't think it's likely over for him being a part of Team USA Basketball. I could see him doing one last hurrah before he goes off into the sunset and does whatever he wants to do once his basketball career is said and done.
No, it's pretty much over with, man. It's a wrap. He's done it already. Like, why do it again to cap what off? I mean, when you think about it, 4 years from now, I just don't see it happening. He's so much, Jerry Colangelo is 100% right. He got so much other stuff going on, it doesn't interest him enough to do it. I mean, like 4 years from now? I mean, at 40, I think he'll be close to 40 years old. Like, as great as LeBron is and how much we love LeBron and all of those sort of things, it's just not, like, why? What's the reasoning for doing it? To just say that, oh, I finished my career as an Olympian, but I've already got gold medals? What's the point? Well,
LeBron loves himself some LeBron. Key, you know this more than anybody else because
but we all love ourselves. There's no question about it.
Yeah, but it's different with LeBron James from the standpoint of he's always going to make sure his name is going to be out there. Look what he's been able to do during the playoffs.
But Freddie, if Team USA needed anybody right now, it would be LeBron. He would do it right now. They certainly need it right now. 4 years from now, will they need it?
It's not about a need standpoint. It's about a brand standpoint and a name standpoint and keeping your name out there when it comes to USA Basketball.
But his name is going to be out there anyway. He doesn't need to capitalize on that.
And he's going to continue to have his name out there to continue to capitalize on that because LeBron James is very good at branding LeBron James. That's everything inside and outside of basketball. Like I mentioned, when it comes to the playoffs this year.
But you got to remember, though, Freddie, it ain't his decision.
I understand it,
but he's going
but Key's going to have a hand in that decision because of what he's been able to do in the past with USA Basketball.
No, it's not. It won't be his decision 4 years from now. It's the committee's decision 4 years from now.
But if
we can clearly see that. We clearly see that now with Kevin Love.
Right, but
it's the committee's decision.
But LeBron has more stroke with that committee than Kevin Love. If LeBron says, hey, guys, I want to go out with a bang and play on the Olympics one last time, there's not going to be a soul in that committee that's going to turn him down because he's LeBron James.
You're 100% right. But I just don't think that LeBron James would do that and take a spot away from somebody that is more deserving. I don't see him doing that.
I don't think you rule out anything with LeBron James. I'm not saying he's narcissistic and an egoist. You got to have some kind of arrogance and have an ego when you're a great player and you're a once-in-a-lifetime player that LeBron James has been. And anything you can do to further that legacy, even though you don't need to do that, there's certain people that are just wired differently. There's certain people that say, you know what, this would be the perfect way, and then I can go off and do whatever I want outside of basketball. LeBron is very cognizant of his name. He understands exactly what kind of stroke and what kind of legacy electricity that's going to bring you to the table.
He's already an international superstar.
But
that's
you
not slowing down anytime soon.
And then the reason, you know how you make sure it doesn't slow down, Keys? You continue to have your name being put out there.
It's not going to slow down. Look, Michael Jordan, did that slow down? No,
Michael, and LeBron James is this generation's Michael Jordan, because look what Michael Jordan did the Last Dance.
It didn't slow down.
But Michael Jordan, the Last Dance, Michael Jordan is always going to make sure he's not going to be forgotten. That's why the Last Dance, this is great numbers, because there are going to be plenty of people that did not know how great Michael Jordan was. They heard about it, they saw it on YouTube, but then they had a chance to actually see what the fuss was all about with Michael Jordan for a younger generation. LeBron James clearly understands to keep your name going to the younger generation, you always got to let them know exactly how great you were. That'll be another step to doing that. I'm not saying he's going to play basketball and be a dominant player, but I don't think it's really smart to say he's going to be ruled out, because LeBron James understands exactly the kind of stroke he's always going to have, being an international man when it comes to inside and outside of sports. And USA Basketball has helped to further that name.
But Freddie,
to me, it would be silly to not think about it.
I take my cue from Jerry Colangelo, somebody who's been dealing with the Olympics in USA Basketball forever. I take my cue from him. He said it's over. And if he's saying it's over, to me, it must be over. Because then you're asking LeBron to flex his muscles just to be self-serving, to play on an Olympic team for marketing purposes, to keep his name out there, when he has so much other stuff that will push his name out, from being involved in younger athletes' careers with an agency, to doing movies, to Maverick Carter doing things with him as a business partner, and Rich Paul being his agent. So much other stuff out there that can keep his name in the lights, rather than take a spot from a deserving player in the Olympics when I already got a handful of Olympic gold medals.
LeBron has changed his mind before. He can change his mind again. Did I give you Miami, Cleveland, saying he was not going to leave those places?
Stop.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Stop, man. He was playing for it.
Okay. All I'm going to say, the 2024 Olympics are in Paris. So if I'm LeBron,
and only 3 years away,
destination
not
alone,
4. Only 3 years
I'll
away.
be there. All right, guys.
3 years too. Huh?
Let's move here in Game 5 tonight.
I think it's lemon pepper Lou Williams. I think that is the most important guy, especially if Trae Young can't go, or Trae Young is hobbled to a degree. I think Lou Williams came out, started that game, did a terrific job, dropping 20-plus points on the Bucks. If he can continue to do that, I think a lot of us have seen him in a secondary role as coming off the bench, but now as a starter, he can do the same things he was doing coming off the bench, only he's a starter. It's very important because he knows how to play. He's a high-volume scorer. He plays defense at times, but scoring is so important. Getting half of what Trae Young can get you goes a long ways. That's why he's the most important player for me.
Definitely for Atlanta, Key, but I'm going to say the most important player in Game 5 is not Lou Williams, although I love the lemon pepper reference, well done by you. It's not Chris Middleton, who has to step up in the absence of Giannis Antetokounmpo. To me, it's got to be Brook Lopez. You can't be big like a statue and play like a statue like we saw from him in Game 4. And you can say that about the whole Bucks team, where Trae Young's not out there. That's a chance to go for the kill, and they never had the lead in that game. If you're Brook Lopez, you have the ability, not just shooting threes, but scoring inside and taking that pressure off Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Why are you not doing that if you're Brook Lopez? You have ability. You don't need to just stand out there and jack up threes all the time. That should come within the offense. But when you post up, there's nobody out there that should have the ability to guard you and also rim protect, like we've seen from him at times. I expect Chris Middleton is going to be terrific. I don't care who's guarding him. But if you're Brook Lopez, this is your chance to say, hey, I'm getting a double-double tonight. They can't stop me on the inside. I'm not just going to stand out there and take the easy way out and make threes. If he has any kind of force with his height and his ability to go inside and put fouls on Clint Capella and the interior of that line of the Atlanta Hawks, he makes things a lot easier for Chris Middleton and for his coach Mike Budenholzer. Do I expect that he's going to do that? I have my doubts about that, because I've seen Brook Lopez just stay out there and wait for the basketball. Dude, you got to demand the basketball. You got to be that important player, to be that Robin to the Batman that's going to be Chris Middleton. If you don't do that, then you're expecting other people to do that. Then that says a lot about you, Brook Lopez, and it doesn't say anything good if you take a step back instead of taking a step forward, when I know you have the capability and the ability to do that in an important game, in a Game 5 for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Bogdanovich is there along the way as well as Lou Williams. So He's healthy now. His high volume shooting, spreading the floor, that gives them all sorts of problems on the Bucks end. Plus, when you think about Milwaukee and Coach Bud and some of the things and adjustments he's been able to not make for Milwaukee is problematic too. So he becomes an important part of what could potentially take place tonight from a coaching standpoint. Can you somehow figure out how to get Drew Holiday involved? Can Drew Holiday come up to the party and account for that $100+ million that they gave him to be the star player since coming over from New Orleans? That's an issue that have been for the Bucks. Let's see where that goes as an important player in this game tonight.
And that's why with Coach Bud, that's why I picked the Hawks to win in 6 before the series got started, because I didn't trust him that if things got tight, that he would be able to dial up the right play or have the right kind of motivation. Because look at the guy on the other side, Nate McMillan. They knew they were not going to have Trae Young in Game 4, and those guys came out there ready to fight and win. And Coach Budenholzer and Milwaukee took a step back. Now you're not going to have Giannis in Game 5. Does anybody inside and outside of Milwaukee trust that Coach Budenholzer is going to have the right kind of plays and the right kind of mindset to help your basketball team? Until I actually see that, I'm not buying it. And that's why before the series got started, I picked the Hawks to win in 6. I trusted Nate McMillan, what he's been able to do taking over this franchise in the middle of the year. And I give the Hawks a lot of credit, Key and Charlie. They did not keep a mistake in the building with Lloyd Pierce. Lloyd Pierce is a nice guy, but when you're 14-20 and players don't want to play for you, at a certain point you can't keep that mistake in the building. They bring in Nate McMillan, which makes the Pacers look foolish because they made him a scapegoat last year, and now they're on another coach after Nate McMillan. He had that team always prepared and always ready with next man up. They lost Trae Young, no problem. They win Game 4. They lose DeAndre Hunter in the series before. They beat Philadelphia to get to this point. So that's why I didn't trust Mike Budenholzer, because I know what Nate McMillan can do. I have not seen it from Mike Budenholzer unless things are so much in his favor being the front runner. When things are tight and that pressure is there, it seems that he's too nice of a guy to have people have trust in him in a tight situation when it comes to his coaching acumen.
The great thing about it for Milwaukee is they're at home. The home crowd can get into it. Chris Middleton has struggled on the road and shooting the ball in the playoffs. He's done a terrific job at home.
He did great in Game 3.
Hopefully, like you said, Charlie, Game 3, he can duplicate that tonight in Game 5 and then see where they go from there.
Well, actually, the only player on the Bucks squad to consistently perform well at home this series so far has been Drew Holiday. He had 55 points in the first 2 games in Milwaukee. So we'll see what happens there. Guys, let's keep it rolling. We have a lot more to get to. Reggie Bush